2025 or 2026 could truly be the year of Sidra. But here's the big question. How far can the price actually go if Sidra finally makes it onto Binance? Could we be looking at $2, $3, $5, or even $10 per coin? Well, in this video, we're going to break it all down. So make sure you stick with me until the end, because by then you'll have a clear picture of what Sidra might be worth the moment it enters the world's largest exchange. Why Binance listing matters so much. First, let's set the stage. Binance isn't just any exchange. It's the biggest and most influential exchange in the world, holding the highest trading volume across crypto markets. When a coin gets listed on Binance, it suddenly becomes visible to millions of global traders. Liquidity increases, hype builds, and price discovery moves much faster than on smaller exchanges. Think about it this way. Binance is like the Champions League of crypto. If your project makes it there, you're no longer just a local player, you're on the global stage. That's why everyone is asking, if Sidra makes it, what could the price really be? Learning from Pi Network's struggles. Before we answer that, let's take a look at Pi Network, which is one of the most hyped crypto projects. Pi had millions of users mining it on their phones, creating one of the biggest communities in crypto. But here's the catch. Pi never made it to Binance. Yes, Pi got listed on some smaller exchanges, but without a proper Binance listing, the price never reached the levels many early miners were dreaming of. Why? Because Binance only lists projects that meet strict criteria: real utility, working ecosystem, transparent tokenomics, and strong regulatory compliance. Pi Network has struggled with transparency, and its ecosystem has not fully matured. This is a huge lesson. Community hype alone is not enough. If you don't meet Binance's quality standards, the listing simply won't happen, and without Binance, global exposure and big money inflow remain limited. Why Pi Network has not been listed on Binance? So why exactly hasn't Pi Network landed on Binance yet? Here are the main reasons. Unfinished mainnet. Pi's blockchain has been stuck in an enclosed mainnet phase, meaning it's not fully open to outside trading or integration. Binance doesn't list projects with unclear blockchain functionality. Regulatory concerns. Binance is extremely careful about compliance. If a project's token distribution model is murky or might be seen as risky by regulators, they stay away. Unclear utility. While Pi has a massive user base, its actual ecosystem of apps and real-world use cases is still developing. Binance needs to see sustainable utility, not just hype. In short, Pi has a powerful brand, but hasn't checked enough boxes for Binance to take the leap. Now what about Sidra? This is where Sidra comes into the spotlight. Unlike Pi, Sidra has been building its ecosystem in real time. The team isn't just talking about future plans, they're already launching decentralized finance products, preparing their own decentralized exchange, DEX, and pushing KYC for users to strengthen compliance. So the big question, does Sidra have what it takes to get listed on Binance? From what we can see, the answer leans toward yes. Here's why. Active ecosystem development. Sidra isn't waiting years to release something. They're moving fast with a live ecosystem. Cross-chain functionality. Sidra has already achieved cross-chain transfers, which shows real technological capability. Regulatory awareness. With KYC being introduced, Sidra is clearly preparing for a future where compliance is mandatory. Binance loves projects that take regulation seriously. Community growth. While not as massive as Pi, Sidra's community is strong and growing daily, enough to create the demand Binance looks for. If Binance lists Sidra price scenarios, now comes the exciting part. What happens to the price if Sidra hits Binance? We need to consider demand, supply, and investor psychology. Historically, when smaller cap coins get Binance listings, they often pump 2x to 10x in the short term simply due to exposure. Let's map out a few possible outcomes. Conservative case, $2, $3. If Sidra lists on Binance in 2025 or 2026 with moderate hype, it could easily stabilize around $2 to $3. This is just based on organic demand and new liquidity inflows. Optimistic case, $5. With strong marketing, ecosystem growth, and continued cross-chain adoption, Sidra could hit $5 soon after listing. This is the sweet spot many are predicting. Moonshot case, 10. If Sidra not only gets listed, but also secures major partnerships, adds DeFi utilities, and becomes a trending narrative in crypto, then yes, we could see Cidra touch $10. It would take strong momentum, but it's not impossible. The difference between Pi and Cidra is clear. Pi relied heavily on hype without finishing its ecosystem, while Cidra is actively building and proving itself. That's exactly what Binance cares about. Final thoughts. So let's circle back. 2025 or 2026, could this be Cidra's big break? Could we see $2, $3, $5, or even $10 per Sidra? If Sidra continues on its current path and secures that golden Binance listing, $5 seems like a very realistic target. And if market conditions are bullish, don't be surprised if we see Sidra run even higher. At the end of the day, Binance is the kingmaker of crypto listings. If Pi Network taught us anything, it's that hype isn't enough. You need real utility, compliance, and a working ecosystem. Sidra is showing signs it could deliver on those fronts, and if it does, the rewards for early believers could be massive. This is Satoshi Guy, and I'll be keeping you updated on everything Sidra and Binance. If you want to see where Sidra could go next, make sure to subscribe and follow.